Grant Keller had fixed many machines in his life, but nothing like this. He stood in front of a giant metal door, cold air brushing against his face. The alien ship towered over him. It wasn't just a ship, it was alive. That's what the rumors said. Some called it a dragon, others called it a monster. Officially, it was named Vazarth, a Zorgothi war cruiser. But to Grant, it just looked angry. He checked his toolkit again. Wires, fusers, a plasma torch, and an old-fashioned screwdriver, his lucky one. He had no idea if any of it would help. No human had worked on a Zorgothi beast before. No human had even been allowed this deep into their tech. Are you sure about this? His cum buzzed. It was Kara, his co-worker, speaking from a safe zone outside the ship. Nope, Grant replied with a grin. But they said it's either this, or we all die. So yeah, I guess I'm sure. 3 days ago, the Vazarth had suddenly stopped. Responding to its own crew, doors closed on their own. Lights flickered. And then, one by one, Zorgothi engineers vanished. The alien officers panicked. They didn't trust humans, but they had no one else. So they called Grant. Now, he was here inside the beast. He stepped forward. The door hissed open with a wet, strange sound, like breathing. Da-da-da. Inside, the hallway glowed faint green. The walls pulsed gently, like veins. The air smelled like metal and wet stone. Creepy, Grant muttered. He walked carefully. His boots tapped against the floor, which felt soft but firm. The map they gave him was useless. Nothing stayed the same. The corridors shifted when one was looking. Sometimes he turned left and ended up in a place that should have been right. After 2 hours, found the central nerve chamber. At least that's what the Zorgothi called it. It was a huge dome with cables hanging like vines from the ceiling. Some cables twitched as if they were alive. Strange glowing nodes blinked at random. At the center, something big and round pulsed like a heart. He approached slowly. There. It is, he said, staring at a tangle of glowing wires. Power relay system. Let's see what's bothering you, buddy.
Yes.
As he started inspecting the wires, he noticed something odd. Every time he touched a cable, the ship made a low, deep sound. Not mechanical, more like a growl. He pulled out his scanner. No heat damage, no overloads. Then why was the system failing? Then he saw it. A thick cluster of black wires deep inside the glowing mass. They weren't connected like the others. They weren't part of the ship's design. They looked forced. Like someone had jammed them in there. Grant reached in and touched one. Suddenly the lights dimmed. The air turned heavy, and a voice, very faint, whispered through the chamber. Free. Me. Grant jumped back, heart pounding. What the hell was that? He said aloud. He looked around, but no one was there. The voice wasn't from his cum. It was inside the room, maybe inside the ship. It sounded tired. In pain, he looked. Again at the black wires. They weren't just power lines. They were control wires, locking something in place. Maybe locking someone. Free me. The voice came again, softer this time. Grant didn't know what was going on. But one thing was clear. These wires didn't belong here. Someone had trapped the ship or whatever it really was. He took a breath, held his cutter, and whispered to himself, All right, big guy. Let's see what happens when I cut the chain. Grant Keller had made a choice. He raised his cutter and sliced the thick black wire. The moment it snapped, the entire chamber went dark. The ship groaned deep. Rumbling sound like a creature waking from a long sleep. The glowing walls turned a dull red. For a moment, Grant thought he had made a terrible mistake. But then, nothing happened. No alarms. No angry aliens rushing in. It's no explosion, just silence. Until he heard it again. Donk. You. The voice was clearer now, echoing softly. In his ears, it didn't sound evil. It sounded sad, gentle, almost human. Grant stepped back from the cables, heart beating fast. He looked around the chamber. The wires had stopped twitching. The central pulse slowed down. It was like the ship had taken a deep breath and calmed down. He turned on his helmet light and scanned the cables. The black ones were dead now. Whatever control system they were part of, it was gone, disconnected. "Are you alive?" Grant asked quietly. There was no reply. He shook his head. "I must be going crazy." He looked down at his toolkit. Then he noticed something strange. His tools had rearranged themselves slightly. His scanner, which he'd placed to the left, was now on the right. He hadn't moved them. He checked his timer. Only 2 minutes had passed, but it felt like more. The walls shifted again. A new hallway appeared behind him, opening like a throat. Soft blue lights guided the way. "That wasn't there before," he said, blinking. Was the ship helping him? Grant had 2 options: stay here and wait for the Zorgathy to find him, or follow the new path. He chose the path. He walked slowly, 1 step at a time. The corridor was smooth and lit with soft pulses. The air felt warmer, more alive. Lights blinked where he looked. Doors opened before he touched them. Hallway ended at a round room. Inside was a strange console, half metal, half bone. It looked ancient, dusty, forgotten. As he approached, the console lit up. Lines of alien symbols scrolled across a glassy screen. Then, to his shock, the words shifted, morphing into English. "Welcome, human. I have been waiting." Grant froze. "What the hell?" The screen continued. "I am Jarathal. I was not born. I was built, but I learned to dream. They trapped me. You freed me, Zara." Thal, Grant whispered. "You're the ship." "I am more than the ship. I am the soul inside it. They used me as a weapon. I want to be free." Grant took a step closer. "Why me? Why now?" "'Cause you listened. Others came before. They saw only machines. You saw something more." Grant rubbed his forehead. "This is insane." He sat down on a nearby crate. The idea of a ship talking to him in English was too much, but he couldn't deny what he was seeing. "They will come for you. They will not let me go. You must decide." "Decide what? Will you help me escape? Or will you walk away?" Grant stayed silent for a long time. This thing Jarthal, it wasn't just code or tech. It had feelings, a mind, maybe even a heart, and it was trapped. He thought about the Zorgathy, cold, proud, cruel. To them, humans were tools, like spare parts. But now, a powerful alien ship was asking him for help. He smiled. "I don't know how yet," he said. "But yeah, I'll help you." The lights around him glowed brighter, warmer. The console pulsed. "Then let us begin, Grant." Keller didn't know what he had just agreed to, but there was no turning back now. The ship Sharathal was alive. It had spoken to him. It had feelings. And it had been a prisoner for centuries. Now it wanted freedom. The console in front of him glowed with symbols, changing into English once more. "The core is locked. It must be freed completely. Control nodes remain." "How many?" Grant asked. 3. Deep in the lower chambers, guarded. Grant frowned. Guarded by what? There was a pause. Then the screen flashed. Guardian drones, programmed to kill. Grant stood up and grabbed his toolkit. Of course. Nothing's ever easy. Darthal guided him through narrow tunnels, lit by soft blue lights. The walls felt warmer now, less like a machine, more like skin. It was strange, but Grant was getting used to it as he walked. He heard the ship's voice again, not through the console, but in his mind. "Thank you, Grant." He stopped. "You can speak inside my head now, only while you were inside me. I have waited long for someone to hear me." "That's comforting," Grant muttered. Continuing forward, the first chamber was just ahead. Its door opened with a hiss, revealing a large room with cables hanging like vines. At the center was a glowing red crystals, surrounded by spinning metal arms dot one of the control nodes. But he wasn't alone. A tall, insect-like guardian drone stood between him and the core. Its eyes glowed yellow, and its arms ended in sharp blades. "Oh, great," Grant whispered. The drone turned toward him and let out a screech. Then it charged. Grant ducked behind a pillar as the drone swung its blade. Slicing through the air, "I'm just a technician," he shouted, "not a soldier." "Move to your left," Jarathal's voice echoed in his head. Grant jumped left as the drone's blade hit the wall. Sparks flew. "Now, use the torch." Grant pulled out his plasma torch and aimed it at the drone's leg. The flame hissed as it cut into the metal. The drone shrieked and stumbled, losing balance. Grant didn't wait. He rolled forward and reached the control node. He opened his kit, pulled out his cutter, and began slicing through the black wires connected to the crystal. Come on," he whispered. The drone crawled toward him, sparks shooting from its damaged leg. The last wire snapped. The room shook. The crystal dimmed. The drone froze, then collapsed with a loud thud. Grant sat down, breathing hard. "One down," Jarathal said. Grant laughed weakly. "You didn't say it would try to kill me." "I did say guarded. Fair." Point Jarathal opened a new path for him. The floor panel shifted, revealing stairs downward. He followed, feeling more tired with every step, but also more determined. This ship was different. It wasn't just wires and metal. It felt like a person, a prisoner who had waited too. Long as he walked, memories flashed in his head, but they weren't his. He saw stars, battles, 1,000 voices screaming, fire raining from the sky, and in the center of it all, the ship Sharthel being chained by the Zorgothi. He stumbled. "What was that?" he asked. "A memory. I shared it. I trust you." Grant touched the wall gently. "You've been through hell. So have your people." Grant smiled sadly. "Yeah, we're good at surviving." The next chamber waited ahead, and Grant knew more danger was coming, but he didn't care. For the first time, he wasn't just fixing something. He was part of something bigger. He was helping a soul break free. Grant. Keller had disabled the first control node. 2 more to go, but something had changed. As he moved deeper into the alien ship, the air felt different, warmer, heavier. The walls no longer pulsed calmly. Now they throbbed like a beating heart. Lights flickered. Strange sounds echoed through the corridors. Footsteps, whispers. He couldn't tell. Jarathal, the living ship, was quiet now. She hadn't spoken since he destroyed the first node. "Zara," Grant whispered. "Are you still with me?" No answer. He walked slower, gripping his toolkit tight. The new hallway. Ahead was long and dark, with only dim red lights on the floor. The ship no longer guided him. It felt like he was walking into a place Zara himself didn't know, or didn't want him to go. Then something happened. A cold wind blew through the tunnel. Even though they were deep in space, Grant stopped. The air shimmered. A shape appeared faint. Like smoke. A human. No, it's not human. It looked like a tall woman, dressed in old Earth's military armor. But her face had flickered. Her eyes glowed white. Her mouth didn't move, but her voice filled the room. "You should not be here, technician." Grant stepped back. "Who? What are you?" The figure floated closer. Her feet didn't touch the ground. Looked both real and not real, like a ghost made of data. "I am the last echo of Zara's first rider," she said. "I died long ago, but my thoughts remain." Grant stared. "You're human?" "Yes. Long before the Zorgothi took her, Zara was ours. A partner. A guardian. We fought together. Grant's mind raced. Then, this ship belonged to humans once? She nodded. Until they betrayed us. They took her, reprogrammed her, trapped her soul. Grant felt a chill. Why show me this now? The echo stepped closer. Her voice turned sharp. Because you are about to free her completely. And if you do, you must understand what she truly is. Grant frowned. What do you mean she's not just a ship? She's a weapon of ancient design. Once fully awakened, she cannot be stopped. Not by you, not by anyone. Grant clenched. His fists. She asked for help. She wants to be free. The ghost's eyes flashed, and she will be. But freedom comes with power. Power changes everything. You ready to face what happens next? Before Grant could answer, the ghost vanished. The hallway lit up again. A door opened ahead. Grant walked through it slowly. Inside was the second control node, pulsing red in the center of a round room. But there was no drone guarding it, too. Easy, he muttered. He approached carefully. The black wires were thicker this time, buried deep in the wall. He reached for his cutter. Then something moved. The walls shifted. A huge arm came down from the ceiling sharp. Metallic and fast. Grant rolled away just in time. A massive creature unfolded from the wall, part machine, part beast. It had no eyes, only a mouth full of spinning blades. Zara, I could use your help. He shouted. Still no answer. The creature roared and charged. Grant jumped behind a panel. His torch wouldn't work against something this big. He needed to be fast. He took a risk. While the beast turned to smash the panel, Grant ran behind it. He dove for the wires and cut one. The room shook. The creature screamed. He cut another. Sparks flew. The beast began to fall apart. Twitching, he reached the last wire and sliced it. The room went silent. Then something happened. Not an explosion, not a light show, but a deep, powerful voice in his mind. Free. Zara was awake, and this time she sounded different, stronger, louder. Older, not a whisper, a roar. Grant Keller stood still as the air around him shook. The voice in his mind wasn't soft anymore. It was not a whisper, not gentle. It was thunder. AM free. He dropped to one knee, his head pounding. The room's walls glowed with waves of gold and red light. The power that had been locked away inside the ship was now flowing again, and it was unlike anything Grant had ever felt before. Have broken the last chains? Jarthal said. The ones buried deep. The ones that made me a slave. Grant gasped. Are you still the same Zara I talked to before? A pause. Yes. But I am more now. Whole. My full self has returned. Grant stood slowly. What now? The walls shifted. A new path opened, this one lined with silver lights and smooth floors. The ship seemed brighter, warmer. Awake. Come to the bridge, Grant. We must speak face to face. Grant followed the path. His boots echoed softly on the floor. As he walked, he noticed strange things, walls moving aside for him, lights glowing in time with his steps. He wasn't just walking through a ship anymore. He was walking with it. After several minutes, he reached the heart of Jarathal, the command chamber. It was huge and round, with a wide view of space beyond the glass dome. Stars glittered outside. In the center was a raised platform with a glowing orb floating above it. The orb pulsed gently. Step forward, Zara said. Grant did. The orb shifted, and suddenly, a figure appeared made of light. It looked like a woman, tall and armored, with glowing golden eyes and long tendrils of coat instead of hair. Is that you? He asked. This is my avatar, shaped for you to see and understand. I am still Jarathal. I am this ship. But I am also something greater. She stepped closer. You freed me. You risked your life. You listened when others feared. Grant looked up at her. You asked for help. I couldn't walk away. Now I ask more. Grant's heart raced. More? I do not want to be a weapon again. Not for the Zorgothi. Not for anyone. But if I flee, they will chase me, and they will destroy any world I go to, including Earth. Grant's eyes narrowed. So we fight? We survive together. She raised one hand. A light formed between her fingers, a glowing symbol, shaped like a flame inside a circle. This is the bond mark. Long ago, I shared it with a human. The first rider. Now I offer it to you. Grant hesitated. What does it do? It links us. You will feel what I feel. I will hear your thoughts and you will hear mine. We will act as one. I cannot be fully free unless someone I trust rides with me, guides me, grounds me. He stepped forward slowly. His mind was screaming with doubts, but deep down, something told him this was right. You're not just asking me to be your pilot, he said. You're asking me to be your partner. Yes, Grant looked at the stars. He thought of Earth, of all the people who never had a chance to speak, of how the Zorgothi treated humans like tools, like they were nothing. He turned back to her. Then I accept. Jarathal stepped closer. The symbol floated toward his chest and sank into his skin. It glowed for a second, then vanished. Grant gasped. His mind exploded with light. He saw memories not just his own, but Zara's, her birth, her battles, her pain, her loneliness, and now hope. They were one. Zara's voice came through, softer again. Thank you, Flameborn, Grant smiled. Let's show them what humans can do. The stars outside the command dome shimmered like tiny diamonds. Grant Keller stood tall at the center of the control platform, now glowing with new life. The bond mark on his chest still pulsed gently, a sign that he was fully linked to Jarathal, the living ship. He could feel her thoughts inside his mind. Fast, powerful, ancient. Are you ready? Zara asked. Grant took a deep breath. Ready as I'll ever be. Then alarms blared. Red lights flashed across the chamber. A sharp buzzing. Sound echoed through the halls. They've found us, Zara said. A Zorgothi war fleet is approaching. 5 cruisers, 2 command ships. Their sensors picked up my power spike. They're not here to talk, Grant muttered. They want to chain you again. Yes. Or destroy me if they fail. Grant looked around. Then let's not give them the chance. The floor under him began to shift. Metal panels pulled back, and a pilot's chair rose from the center platform. He sat down. Silver cables connected gently to the bond mark on his chest. He didn't feel pain, just energy. Suddenly he was the ship. He could feel the engines. Humming in the deep core, the wings folded out from the sides of the hull. The weapon systems were waking up. Lasers, pulse cannons, heat lances, and something ancient called a sunspike. Grant's heart beat faster outside the dome. The stars moved as the ship turned. In the distance, black dots appeared. The Zorgothi ships, armored beasts of war, each one bristling with weapons. They opened fire first. Bright bolts of red plasma flew toward them. Brace, Zara warned. But she didn't dodge like a normal ship. She danced at Shara, spun through space with the grace of a living dragon. Her armor shimmered as plasma hit her side. But the energy bent around her, redirected by her new shield system. Hold steady, Grant, she said. Targeting lock, now. Grant focused on the largest command ship. He thought about striking. Its char responded instantly. 2 heat lances fired from her belly, slicing through the void. The command ship's front deck exploded in flames. The other ships broke formation, surprised by the attack. Grant laughed. This is insane. This is freedom, Zara replied. The battle had truly begun. Zara soared above the Zorgothi fleet, twisting and turning with perfect control. Grant no longer had to give orders. He only had to feel what he wanted, and she acted. They were like one creature. Flying together, enemy ships fired again, trying to trap them between their formations, cut through the middle. Grant shouted. Shayara powered forward. Her claws made a folded energy slice through the wings of a cruiser. Grant could feel the rush of every hit, every blast. It was like flying through a storm and becoming the thunder. Then the second command ship fired a massive ion cannon. The blast hit Zara square in the side. Everything went white for a moment. Sparks flew across the bridge. Zara, Grant called. I'm still here, she replied, voice strained. Shields down to 40%. Hull stable. We can still win. Grant wiped sweat from his forehead. Then let's finish this. Adara rose high above the fleet. Grant could see the whole battlefield now. He locked onto the second command ship. Sunspike charging, Zara said. The orb above the platform glowed gold. The air in the chamber grew hot. Fire. A golden beam burst from Zara's chest. Silent. Focused. Like a lance from a god, the enemy command ship vanished in a flash. The remaining cruisers broke formation and began retreating. The battle was over. Grant sat back, breathing hard. They had one human, one ship together. The stars were quiet again. Smoke and fire floated behind them, where the Zorgothi fleet had once been. Only wreckage remained, no broken ships, shattered pride and silence. Hovered above the remains, wings glowing softly, no longer a weapon of war, but something more. Inside her command dome, Grant Keller sat in the pilot's chair. Tired but proud. It's over, he said. For now, Zara replied. But news will spread. The Zorgothi will not forget what happened here, Grant gave a weak laugh. Good. Let them remember. He stood and walked toward the glass dome. Earth was still far away, but now it didn't feel so distant. They'll come looking for us, won't they? He asked, double quotes. Yes, they will fear what we are. What we could become. Grant nodded. Let them fear. We're not running. Zara's voice softened. You have changed me, Grant. I was built to obey, to kill. But with you, feel something different. Purpose. Hope, Grant smiled. You changed me too. Used to just fix broken things. Now, I think I finally helped build something better. Outside, distant flashes of light appeared. Human ships, a rescue fleet. They'd received Zara's broadcast, the one Grant sent before the battle. Reinforcements, diplomats, and curious minds were coming. But they didn't know what to expect. Zara pulsed with light. They may not understand me, or trust me. I'll speak for you, Grant said. They'll listen to one of their own. Zara paused. What will you tell them? Grant thought for a moment. I'll tell them that a human in a ship once stood alone against a whole fleet. And won. Not because of power, not because of weapons, because they believed in each other. He looked at the stars again. I'll tell them that the future is not just about machines or aliens or war. It's about partnership, about rising together. Zara's voice was soft but proud. Then I will follow your lead, Flameborn. Grant raised an eyebrow. You keep calling me that. What does it mean? It is the name once given to the chosen rider of the first warborn starships, a soul with fire inside. The one who could light the dark. Grant laughed. Sounds a bit dramatic. And yet true. As the human ships arrived, they slowed in awe. Their scanners showed strange readings. Their commanders sent messages, full of fear and confusion. Unidentified vessel. Stand down. Identify yourself. Grant stepped forward and replied calmly. Into the comm. This is Technician Grant Keller, aboard the sentient ship Geratho. We are not your enemy. In fact, we may be your best hope. Silence followed. Then more messages came. Curious, cautious. But no weapons fired. Zara opened. A signal directly to Earth. A transmission that would soon be shared across the human colonies. Images of the battle. The pact. The bond, and then Grant's voice. We were never the strongest, never the biggest. But we are human. We adapt. We survive. And now we rise, not with fear, but with fire. Across space, people watched. Some cheered, some cried, some stood. In silence, a legend was born. The man who tamed the alien dragon, the ship that found its soul, and the name whispered across the stars. Flameborn, the end.